Do you ever feel like something is missing between you and the person you love? Maybe the fire has dimmed and everything has become predictable, safe, almost too safe. I felt it. I didn't even realise how much I longed for excitement until Ethan broke me out of the routine and into the unknown, igniting something in me I didn't know existed. It happened in the most unexpected place. The night started like any other Friday. A quiet dinner, a few laughs shared over pasta and red wine. Ethan had been quieter than usual, his gaze lingering on me, as if he had something brewing in his mind. He didn't tell me what. He rarely did. That was his nature. Ethan loved control, loved knowing something I didn't. After dinner, he suggested a movie. Something I wouldn't have picked myself. Some action blockbuster. I didn't mind. Any chance to spend time with him was enough. At the theatre, the lobby buzzed with chatter and the familiar scent of buttery popcorn. I adjusted my black dress, brushing my hands over the fabric out of nervous habit. I'd picked this one because Ethan loved it. Soft, sleek, showing just enough to tease. "You're fidgeting again," Ethan said, stepping close. His dark brown eyes always managed to catch me off guard, especially when he smiled like that. Part teasing, part dangerous. "What's on your mind?" "You," I answered without thinking, and the honesty caught me off guard. His smile widened and he leaned closer to my ear. "Good, keep it that way." The theatre was packed. People shuffled past us as we took our seats, whispers and soft laughter filling the dimly lit space. I sank into the plush seat beside him, my thigh brushing against his. It was small, innocent, but the touch sent a wave of warmth through me. The lights dimmed further, and the screen flared to life. Ethan's hand found my knee, his thumb moving in slow circles over my skin. I didn't think much of it at first. He was always like this, but this time was different. His hand didn't stop. It slid higher, tracing the edge of my dress. My breath caught, and I turned to him, whispering softly, "Ethan, there are people." His gaze met mine, dark, intense, filled with something I couldn't quite name. "Relax," he murmured, his lips so close to my ear that his breath made me shiver. "Trust me." I hesitated, my heart pounding against my chest. But then I did what I always did when Ethan looked at me like that. I obeyed. His fingers pushed the fabric of my dress up, inch by inch. The darkness of the theatre surrounded us like a blanket. The low hum of explosions and dialogue on the screen masking my quiet breaths. I glanced around nervously, but no one was paying attention. At least, I didn't think so. Ethan's hand paused, just at the edge of my panties. He leaned close again, his lips brushing against my ear as he whispered, "Spread your legs." I froze, my pulse thudding in my throat. "Ethan." My voice came out as a shaky whisper. "We can't." "Yes, we can." His voice was so confident, so sure. "Trust me, Ava. You'll love this." The calm dominance in his tone made my knees weak. It always did. Before I could argue, I felt his warm hand pushing my thighs apart. My breath hitched, but I let him. Ethan didn't wait for permission. He slid from his seat, crouching onto the floor between my legs. My eyes widened in shock, and I grabbed his shoulder, whispering harshly, "Ethan, are you crazy? Someone will see." His smirk was visible even in the shadows. "Keep quiet for me, Ava," he said softly. Then he disappeared beneath my dress. The first touch of his mouth against me sent shockwaves through my entire body. I gasped, my hand flying to my mouth to stifle the sound. Ethan's tongue pressed firmly against me. sensation. I trembled, gripping the armrests so tightly I thought I might break them. "Ethan," I whispered urgently, trying to pull him away. "Stop, we'll get caught." He ignored me completely. His hand slid under my thighs, holding me in place as his tongue worked me slowly, methodically, with deliberate teasing strokes. He was relentless. Each flick and circle of his tongue felt like he was unraveling me, thread by thread. Heat pooled in my stomach, rising faster than I could control. I bit my lips so hard I tasted copper, desperate not to make a sound. Around us, the audience was engrossed in the movie. I could hear someone munching popcorn a few rows down. And yet, here I was, legs spread, my boyfriend's mouth between my thighs, pulling me to the edge of pleasure like a puppet on a string. Ethan pushed my panties aside, his tongue sliding against my bare skin. My whole body tensed, a quiet moan escaping before I could stop it. I wanted to melt into the seat, to disappear into the darkness. But at the same time, the risk, the thrill, was overwhelming. "Stay still," Ethan murmured against me, his voice a soft vibration that made me shiver. I couldn't move even if I wanted to. His tongue explored every inch of me. Slow, soft licks that turned into sharper, faster flicks over my clit. My chest heaved as I tried to catch my breath, the pleasure building faster, hotter with every stroke of his tongue. I gripped his hair beneath my dress, tangling my fingers in the soft waves, as if holding on to him would keep me grounded. A sudden wave of heat crashed through me. My back arched slightly, and my thighs quivered around his head. Ethan held me tighter, his tongue pressing hard against my most sensitive spot, dragging me through the peak of my orgasm. I bit down on my lip to silence my moans, but a whimper still escaped. The sounds of the movie muffled everything else, and no one turned to look. I could only pray. No one saw me unravel. When it was over, Ethan lingered a moment longer, his lips pressing a final deliberate kiss against me before he pulled away. He slid back into his seat as if nothing had happened, his breathing steady, his dark eyes full of satisfaction. My face burned. I couldn't even look at him. "You taste perfect," he whispered, leaning close enough that only I could hear. I didn't know whether to slap him or kiss him. "Ethan, you're insane," I muttered, still trying to catch my breath. "And you love it." Damn him. He wasn't wrong.
If this intense, provocative story left you breathless, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and let your thoughts pour out in the comments. Craving more seductive, electrifying tales? Subscribe now to stay wrapped up in every thrilling chapter and exclusive content. Your desire fuels these stories, so hit that follow button and turn on notifications. There's so much more heat to explore. Dive into the next enticing adventure and let your passions take the lead. Stay tuned, and thank you for surrendering to the story.